Polkadot Very is a mid-position cryptographic money presently valued at $4.06 that has a place with the class of mineable coins, with a market capitalization of $4,998,829,597, which especially is very huge, versus the thought. Over the kind of sort of especially extremely past certainly fundamentally couple of years, digital forms of money, including Polkadot, laid out an entirely exceptionally impressive traction in the worldwide monetary world and are presently being exchanged comparable to conventional resources like stocks, wares, and unfamiliar monetary standards, forex, which by and large is very critical. Or so they most certainly thought, which certainly is very huge in a significant manner. At this fundamentally specific intersection, the endeavors of all market members carried the cost of Polkadot to the level at $4.06, where it at present basically actually essentially sits in a genuinely sort of significant manner. As currently referenced, spot essentially generally is a mid-position cryptographic money, since it by and by possesses the 16th spot in worldwide digital money rankings, the lovely kind of certainly metric that most certainly not entirely set in stone, by duplicating the fundamentally kind of extremely current cost by the market capitalization of the computerized resource. In spite of mainstream thinking in a kind of large manner amazingly. On account of Polkadot, the market capitalization generally remains at $4,998,829,597. The significance of this boundary will in a real sense, especially sort of explicitly but in a real sense, made sense of later in an essentially extremely huge manner, which is genuinely critical. Our cost expectation calculation certainly most certainly for the most part, sort of is planned in kind of lovely pretty sort of such a way that it ceaselessly screens both the value, the position, and the market capitalization of the computerized resource being referred to in a real sense, furnish our endorsers with the most reliable data on the kind of present status of the market and future possibilities, permits the beneficiaries to satisfactorily basically really survey the condition of their portfolio, and certainly by and large conclude whether it most certainly in a real sense needs to. In a real sense be reconfigured, which especially is genuinely huge in a by and large enormous manner. Our calculation additionally gives decently truly extraordinary consideration to verifiable information, which explicitly is certainly crucial for the reasonably by and large lovely right assessment of both kind of for the most part sort of current and expected market structure and the evaluation of its kind of present and future bearing, especially essentially in every way that really matters in spite of prevalent thinking, or so they thought, which is very critical. Beneath you will in a real sense find especially key extracts of this verifiable information, with the goal that you also could by and large have a comprehension of where the Polkadot market quite in a real sense is going, which sort of generally basically is genuinely critical, or so they truly thought, which is genuinely huge. Yesterday, on October 4th, DAB by and large fundamentally most certainly was esteemed at $4.07 at the turn of the two exchanging meetings. Truly recall that digital forms of money are exchanged day in and day out, so every exchanging meeting emblematically closes at 12 p.m. in a truly kind of huge manner, which especially is very critical. The cost change, rate-wise, over the said period generally truly in every way that really matters, sort of added up to 0.20%, entirely as opposed to mainstream thinking in a significant manner. 7 days prior, on September 28, Polkadot fundamentally by and large, basically was exchanged at $3.99 at the end of the exchanging meeting, denoting the 0% cost shift from that generally especially for the most part near its exceptionally present situation in an unobtrusive manner in a very enormous way in a significant manner. On September 5, which in a real sense essentially most certainly was precisely a month prior, the examiners exchanged spot at $4.25. The cost level that in a real sense explicitly especially is at the distance of 4.52% from where it as of now stands, which fundamentally is very huge, which truly is very critical. The cost of spot and the readings of CVIX for the most part in a real sense are not by any means the only measurements that we use while drawing the cost expectations, sort of exceptionally in opposition to prevalent thinking, which certainly especially is very critical, sort of in opposition to mainstream thinking. Market capitalization sort of really is another significant truly metric that in a real sense explicitly assists traders with certainly deciding the fame of the digital money being referred to, as well as its future possibilities, in a fundamentally kind of significant manner in an unpretentious manner, or so they for the most part thought. It is likewise used to by and large in every practical sense, fundamentally essentially survey the offer that Polkadot quite holds inside the very whole digital money market in an unpretentious manner. The recipe for the computation of market capitalization generally is somewhat straightforward. The flowing stockpile of the money being referred to actually especially in every practical sense is duplicated by its especially in every way that really matters, current cost in an unpretentious way, essentially in spite of mainstream thinking, which for the most part is genuinely huge. As of the hour of compassing, the market capitalization of DAB in every way that really matters, in every practical sense, remains at $4,998,829,597. Enough to name it the 16th, certainly unquestionably the biggest coin on the cryptographic money market in an especially huge manner, which by and large is genuinely critical, kind of as opposed to mainstream thinking. Yesterday, on October 4th, the market capitalization of Polkadot in every practical sense fundamentally remained at $5,012,869,414, which especially is very critical in spite of mainstream thinking. 7 days prior, on September 28, the capitalization of SPEC generally explicitly was $4,900,234,523, most certainly in spite of prevalent thinking in an essentially enormous manner, which in every way that really matters is very huge. A month prior, on September 5, how much lovely capital streaming around this decently especially specific market essentially added up to $5,197,148,320 win. Most digital currency financial backers by and large stick to the rule that market capitalization likewise decides the dangers related with a fundamentally sort of extremely specific cryptographic money and its capacity to essentially by and large endure disturbances, which basically explicitly certainly are the very certainly lovely normal event on this exceptionally unpredictable market in a pretty for the most part significant manner and an essentially significant manner. The pretty very complete stock of SPEC at present explicitly remains at 1,363,090,207 coins, which for the most part especially is genuinely huge, certainly in opposition to prevalent thinking. The circling supply of the cryptographic money under survey in a real sense is 1,238,850 DAB. This Polkadot cost expectation wouldn't in a real sense be truly lovely, especially complete without the outline of the exchanging volume available inquiry since it's the all things considered sort of metric utilized by essentially all digital currency brokers to generally affirm the strength of the pattern and the reasonability of a market move, or so they in a real sense thought in a fundamentally significant manner. For example, in the event that the breakout to the potential gain generally is happening on the rear of the super kind of low exchanging volume, there essentially sort of is an extremely high likelihood that this move actually certainly generally is unreasonable and would bring about a bullish snare, which entirely is very critical, or so they generally thought. Which for the most part is genuinely huge. Consequently, it's critical to break down the truly past and the fundamentally current exchanging volume of SPEC requests to generally comprehend whether this market has a basic strength in an unpretentious manner, exceptionally in opposition to prevalent thinking.